All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How is everyone doing? Hope you guys are doing super cool. It is a bit cold, and you know, the weather is not good here where I am, so forgive my wearing of jumpers around. Yeah, how have you guys been doing? Let me know. Let me know. How are you? Just post that for me in the comment sections. Let me know how you guys are doing. Yeah. It's a wonderful time. I just need to monitor if actually I'm sounding the way I'm meant to sound. So you're going to allow me check that out. But yeah, you can as well let me know if you're watching. Let me know, is everything okay? Am I sounding the way I'm meant to sound? I'm in a different location from where I'm always at, so it is uh, it is a bit, you know, different. Yeah, let me just get to hear how I'm sounding, then I'll get back. All right, guys, you're going to forgive my audio today. Um, from what I can see or from what I can monitor, it is really sounding very shitty, but yeah, it is what it is, and we have to move on, right? I don't know what you guys are about today. You just need to let me know. Um, what's up? What's up? What's up? Just let me know what's up. Just let me know what's up. How have you guys been? What's going on right where you are? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. Let me know. So we need to jump on maybe a live market. Yeah, I need to jump on the live market and see what we have there. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. So that's what the chart is looking like today. Uh, I'm not very sure why my music is lagging. Let me just work on that as well. So that it doesn't have to do that again. Yeah, but talk to me. How is it going that side? How are you guys faring? That's how the market is looking like today. Um, we are going to be looking for some opportunities. Let's see how the 11 o'clock was. Then I'll let you guys know what's up. But in the meantime, if you have anything going on, just make sure that you give me that comment or something so that I am able to answer whatsoever that you have in mind. So this is my trading view right here, and I was waiting for the market to tap into these zones here. So let's see how the market reacted to those zones anyway. The market came and moved up into this zone, which means it was invalidated. So we see this spike that came in here, right? This right here is our candle that I would be interested in. Let me try going on a lower time frame. Alright, let me move this a little bit to the left. So this is what I would be really interested in. And for me to actually get into sales on this, I would wait to see how the market plays around it. Okay. So on the 5 minutes time frame, if I was looking at this, probably I would just maybe look for a bit of confirmations here and there to enter into this sale, right? So maybe probably at this candle here, this is where I would have entered into the sale. I've not yet entered, so meaning I'm going to actually get an opportunity to enter using this particular position that I'm in, because the market actually is still looking pretty good. And my stop loss would have been above this fair value gap here. So around 45 pips is what I would be looking for. So meaning I'm actually at a very, very good area, 45. So I'll just pick the stop loss level, 61.36. So I'll go here and I'm selling. I'm risking 1,000, and my stop loss is 61.36 if I'm not mistaken. I'll just get into this sale just right there. Okay. Oops. Looks like my screen went off a little bit. Let me try and reshare that. I'm wondering why it went off. Okay. So I entered into this trade at that level there. Okay. So let me just jump back into trading and show you the exact place. So currently, if I'm to look here at the chart, my entry position was this one here, so which was 58.04, if I'm not mistaken, 58.04. Let me just update it here, 58.04, 58.04. That's my entry, and my stop loss is above here, 61.36. Let's double check again. 61.36. which makes the stop loss 33 pips. I'm not very sure if my accounts have been triggered. Oh my goodness. I have many accounts that actually don't trigger, so I would have actually just done 40 pips probably. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move out of this trade and I re-enter it with 40 pips since I'm already still like in the area that I am meant to sell or buy from. So to sell from, sorry for that mistake. So I'll just use 40 pips as my stop. I re-enter into this 40 pips at $1,000 as a risk. All right, I'm back in and probably all my accounts should be in. I have a copier, and on my accounts, most of the times the positions are not triggered, and it's because of how can I call it, margin? Yeah, because of my leverage. Sorry, so that's why they are not triggered. Okay, so with this, I've re-entered at 57.56. 57.56, and my stop loss is at 40 pips, which is 61.56. 61.56, which makes it 40 pips right here. So this is the entry I'm looking at, though I'm not very sure how it's going to play out. But since it is what I saw on the market, I had to just take it. I'm thinking, actually, did these guys get into this trade? Okay, sounds good. You can text me in the chat because I'm not very sure if I can hear you. But yeah, this is a trade I'm in right now, and I'm waiting to see how it plays out. So I tried my level best to refine my strategy, and it's been really actually working out well. There's a few things that have been bothering me with it. That's why I went ahead. So this is one of the trades that I looked at yesterday night, and I was able to. It was actually able to come into my zone and play off really well, and give me this amazing 1:3. I didn't take this particular trade, but it's something that I'm looking forward to start now taking since we already now know what exactly we are meant to do. So this is the trade right there. Okay, this is the trade that I missed. Then this is another one I've just seen, and I'm trying to ask myself, okay, is actually the market going to play out in my favor? Because I have tried my level best to do everything that I have to do for this particular trade. I have my zones ready. I got a massive breakout on the 5 minutes, as you can see here. This was the zone, so meaning it was indicating a lot of buying momentum. But then I saw this level here, which was a level of, it was a massive how can I call it, a massive fair value gap. So I saw this week out, which indicated a good time to sell. So, and that's why we're in this sell. Most of the times, these trades don't have to really get back, don't have to create drawdown like it is doing right now. So I'm a little bit skeptical about what is going to happen, but we have our stop loss at 40 pips. So, with gold, still 40 pips is something really less. But let's see how it plays out. Still, our take profit is at 1:3. If we could get this trade reverse and come back maybe into an area of a fair value gap below, that means that would be a very good thing for us to actually capitalize on this particular trade, right? So for now, we are going to just watch it and see what it does at these particular levels. I'm still again skeptical because of these weeks that it is giving me and it's not actually fulfilling them, like getting down on the 5 minute. But yeah, I'm going to keep waiting to see um, what it does. So those are the trades that I'm currently in, and I hope that you guys took that trade too. So we are going to just keep waiting and actually see if things work out here. But as we do that, currently for the month we are down about 0% because I didn't take a trade this whole week. So let me just find a way of updating our. No, it's actually okay. It's only the number of series that is not okay. So I'll maybe just go ahead and update that. Today is 003 from the time of the reset. Yeah, I'll just update that and send it to the group so that, sorry, update it on the screen so that you guys are able to follow along. But in case you have any questions, please let me know so that I'm able to answer some of those. So this is the trade I'm in, and hopefully by next week we should be able to So I'm excited seeing that trend, retrace a bit. Yeah, so that's a good thing to see right there happen. Yep, For the people watching, how are you doing? It's a great time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a beautiful time always having you guys. That's the trade I'm in. It's not playing out so good as yet. Probably it will. I just need to I just need to give it some time. I just need to give it some time and see how things play out. All right, good to see how it is dropping. I'm already locked in my account, so just waiting to see how things flow. I also need to maybe put out something regarding our live stream, maybe for the people to join in, some of them, so that we can have an amazing conversation. So it's something that I'm looking forward doing. Let me see if I can easily post that out. Mm, all right. So I'm trying to find of posting this online so that guys can join us in this live stream. Okay, I should be able to as well do some giveaway tonight for actually some serious people in the community. So let me just push this out, then we get to have a conversation that is meaningful, right? Cool. I guess for now, what I've done is just enough. We should be able to be set. All right, let me just set up my speakers here in, then we get going. Um, speakers. Just a moment. right, I'm just adding in my speakers here, then we get it going again. Just give me a second. Things of dealing with layouts. Wanting to make sure that the screen is looking beautiful. Eh? All right. I guess currently I have Gold Mafia and my friend Shaq on the screen as well. Yo, guys, are you there?
Hello, preacher.
Yes, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How is your day?
I'm actually very, very, very fine.
Yeah,
So this is a trade I just got in, and I was telling my guys that I'm going to get some people get on the call so that we can have an amazing conversation going. So I'm very happy that you guys are actually making time to jump in, and we have this kind of conversation going on.
it's amazing to
How
be here.
is how is Mafia? I think he's about to
Hey,
have some breakfast or something.
I was looking for a place to unmute.
Yeah, things with new platforms and things of a sort. So most
Yeah,
of the times it's a.
I'm actually also in the same trade.
Oh, you wanna sell?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell on gold. I send it in the group chat.
Okay, let me try and check that out. This is good. So in the morning when I woke up, I had a bias to buy, but you guys, at least you guys a bit of my accountability partners have been trying my level best to tell you what has been going on with my strategy. It's been a little bit shitty. So tried to refine it a little bit, and this is what this is what I came up with. I found out that every time I am meant to buy, for example, when I woke up in this morning, I saw my session ranges give me this amazing bullish candle, as you can see on the screen, breaking out of my range. So what I thought of was literally buying for the morning. But then in my old strategy, I would just get in on a buy at this different level here. And I'm like, okay, maybe the market will do what it wants. My stop loss below this candle here. And most of the times, what the market would do before it gives me the one is to three that I'm looking for, it would, take me out, right? So when I was on the call with you guys last time, I got an insight on how I can actually capitalize on these fair value gaps to see that I'm able to get into a good trade. So since my bias was a buy initially, I would buy below maybe in areas like this. Let's say if I go to 30 minutes time frame, I would find maybe another fair value gap in these areas that could link somewhere down here. That's where my buys should be, right? But alternatively, if I get the market, move up, I would find other fair value gaps, for example, like this one, and maybe see if market is reacting in that area for me to get on some sales. So this is exactly what I've been doing, and I did a number of back tests that gave me a good signal of actually how this kind of um, thing should work out to bring me back into the market. So that's what exactly I did. So if you guys have any thoughts, you can let me know because you're on a call with me crying about this. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so those are the few refinings that I did on this particular strategy. There wasn't much that I did apart from that.
Actually, mine was had the same entry, but mine was based off a breakout and retest. It's a retest I did have like from actually yesterday, so I was just waiting for it today. Though that previous low at around 41, 42 there. There was a
Yeah.
third touch on the trend line. So actually, when I got in on this trade, I had to like use half of my usual risk because that was also it happened to be a third touch on a trend line. So I was like,
Mm.
there's a chance of it dropping, but it not really hitting TP. So let me reduce my risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to look at it. I think that's really a good way to look at it.
So by the way, we are live on which platforms?
I'm live on on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, my X platform, my Telegram, my Instagram, my Kick. So those are the platforms that I'm live on.
Right.
Yeah. Next time, I should actually maybe stream to your accounts as well. So what we could do next time, if we are able to have a call as this, I should be able to add in your platforms maybe in my streaming software, and you guys should be able to have the stream going on as well on your platforms. It just sounds. Okay. Thank you so much. So what I was trying to do here was to look at how your platforms look like. You know, you guys told me that I think Arafat is off or something. Yeah, you had told me that you are trying to look at the platform, how it looks like and stuff. So I've also tried to get into it just to see how it looks like, so that I know what the kind of interface you guys have on that side. I hadn't looked at the guest side as yet, but actually it doesn't look very complicated. So Musa is saying lock in and learning with you, sir. Good to have you, Musa, on the call. I believe there is a number of people, watching from different platforms. It's always a pleasure to have you guys. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you. So, what are you guys? Yeah, I don't know what other guys have to say. Also, let me see people on other different platforms what they are doing. Alovo says good morning. Good to have you, Alovo, on the call. Yep, we are trying to do our level best to see that you guys are sustained in these live streams. And, since I've got some amazing friends who are actually jumping on board to see that most of us have something going on, it's actually very, very good. So, this is the entry I took. Alan, I don't know if there's a way, let me know with your entries. Could you just direct me on some time frames, maybe to press to see if you'd have got the same entry on gold on a sale as I've got here? This is just something new I've been trying again. For example, on the last call we had with you guys, I told you how much I have been into forth and back trying to make sure that this strategy that I should come back with should be good. But one of the issues that I found out is still I can get very good entries, then I struggle hitting a 1:3, right? Which is okay. It is okay sometimes not to hit the 1:3 like we want. So um, someone, my wife is a trader as well, so she usually sometimes gives me some kind of when she sees me into my back testings, she gives me some kind of insights. She was telling me how when a market hits a 1:3, most of the times on whatsoever kind of trade you're looking for example, this one right here, I'm risking 40 pips on this. So meaning if it has to hit TP, it is going to move 120 pips, right? But then she says if the market reaches 1:2, most of the times, and it gets back into your entry, it is going to hit your stop loss. I don't know what kind of insight you guys have on that. I know, yes, maybe she has seen it with her trading. She says that if the market goes into your favor at whatsoever stop loss you're making, and it goes at a 1:2, or somewhere between 1:1.5, 1:2, and it goes back into your entry, most likely, most of the times, 90% of the times, it will hit stop loss. I don't know if you guys have experienced the same. Uh, Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's something, she just gave me a theory on. Maybe it's from her experience as well. As traders, there's a lot of things that we see on the market happen every single time we are trading. So probably that is something that has happened on her side of the game. So, but yeah, I don't know what Mafia has to say about that.
Well, personally, from my experience, what I've noticed on even the few other guys I've talked to in trading, 1:3 is almost the sweet spot, especially with gold. Most strategies, yeah, the strategies which do more than 1 to 3, but most strategies and most of the time frames, if you get in 1 to 3 is the sweet spot.
Yeah. So then, we are trying to get an analogy of if the market gets to a 1:3, sorry, a 1:2, most likely, do you think it will hit SL if it goes back into your entry? Because when we were back testing, that's something that we encountered a little bit. So we are trying to think, is it actually something that I should be looking out for? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. So I'm going to be running a giveaway on the stream for people who can, join in and ask questions and, keep us going. Let me just post that on X so that um, 2x 5K accounts is what I'm going to be giving out. How has been your trading, guys? Because like I've been telling you, mine has been a little bit shitty. August. Oh, August. Okay. Yeah. The man of all seasons. So, guys, we have a giveaway going on right now. And for you to be able to join into the giveaway, you're going to do something very easy. When you comment with hashtag Neoma, hashtag Neoma, and you'll be joining into the giveaway. So, just a second, I'll show you how it works as Gold Mafia is preparing, um, to say something to us. So if you can post something with hashtag Neoma, you will enter into this giveaway. Actually, don't add the word hashtag, just type Neoma. All right. Okay. I'm trying to. This data does not include hashtag. Okay. Neoma. Actually, put hashtag Neoma so that you are able to join in. Sorry, guys, I'm going to come back to you. Let me just make sure that these people know exactly what they are doing before we can get things going. Let me share that screen. So if you are, yeah, so we are back. Arafat was still telling us something.
Well, I was just mentioning about the sweet spot in trading for most of the RR.
Yeah,
Yeah, because most of the traders, their win rate is between 40 to 60. That is what most traders are, the
yeah,
win rate. And the
yeah.
sweet spot for even most of the strategies is 1 to
I have
3.
a camera here. I don't know if you guys are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Mm,
realize if your most likely if your RR is going to be higher, then
yeah.
your win rate is going to reduce. And by the time the market moves to R in favor, usually there's momentum. So most times if it comes back to entry, then probably the momentum has been exhausted, and it could be going for your sale.
Okay. Let's just give a real analogy. with what we are seeing on my screen right now. You see, we came in and this is what almost a 1 is to 1, right? Almost a 1 is to 1.2 or zero point 0.1. Do you think it has been exhausted as yet?
Not really.
Maybe just from the
The,
analogy that we are talking about.
well, if I'm going to judge it by that analogy alone, I wouldn't say that because it doesn't really hit one to three. But personally, I'm more someone who likes to combine many concepts. I'm more of a momentum guy. And yeah, even if I can say like the market, it seems like it's pumping back to entry. If you look at the current candlesticks, the last three bullish candlesticks, yeah, they are bullish as much as we are selling, but there's honestly no momentum. You see, in those
Mm,
candles, they are not really engulfing their previous candle. So that huge bearish candle, they are not really engulfing
yeah,
it much. So they are really
yeah,
struggling to like come back up. So it seems more just more like a retest of probably another block.
yeah. From the screenshot that you shared in the group, I see you have another block around this area.
Yeah, I've
So
just
I'm
marked
just
it.
trying, maybe just for reference's sake, I'm going to just put here somewhere where your stop loss is so that we can monitor this trade all of us together. Not sure if you entered in yours as well as yet, but I guess you should have been in as well. Alan is that guy who chucked gold. Eh?
Well,
So maybe just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Your SL is at 63.71. Is that right, Arafat? Gold Mafia, is that right?
let me check my sell on gold. Actually, this order block, I've just marked it to like, I'm not going to take the order block entry. I'm just marking it to like pay attention to the market. But for my entry, which I have, which is similar to yours, my sell is at 3363.69.
69, not 71. Okay.
Yeah.
69. Let's just put it there so that we can both monitor this. Since I already found in this trade and I'm in the trade as well. So yeah, guys, these are amazing concepts that all of us are trying to get into. Gold Mafia is into trend lines, break and retest, order block. That is his new thing that he's into. Alan is trying to be a currency guy. He doesn't want metals anymore. So, but he's into also the same thing: trend lines, order blocks, fair value gaps here and there. Then myself, I've just been introduced to fair value gaps that are actually doing amazing for me. So, and maybe ranges into the session breaks. But it is actually very beautiful to see that Arafat is into this, Gold Mafia is into this same trade, and myself, I'm into the same trade. These are two different concepts that are being used to trade and actually finding ourselves that we are into the sales. So, there's something that Alan mentioned about, oh, you can see him, Butera Capital. I love calling him by his real name. There's something that he mentioned in one of our private calls. in one of our private calls, and he mentioned that one of the things that um, he's not bothered about um, the take profit. One of the things that he's bothered about is actually how do you take the right entry on each trend that he takes, right? So with every strategy or every kind of system you're using, one of the things that you should have at the back of your mind is, am I actually able to get the right entry that is going to correspond well with the areas that I'm seeing on the market, right? So you can see if I'm very right, looking at my phone here, Arafat is into this trade and he entered a little bit above me, somewhere around 58.6, right? And I'm entering at around 57. Sorry, he entered at around 58.61. I'm in the market around 55. Let me see, 57.56. But you realize that these are two different entries in the same zone with different strategies. So it is not about, how indifferent you are on the market. It's about, making sure that you know your zones and how best to get well or get into those particular zones really, really well. So, um, yeah, that's something that I'm seeing right there that all of us need to be very, very, how can I call it, cautious about. Many people tend to feel otherwise, but actually that's what really matters, that you've entered into the market and you're entering in with the right places that you have to enter in, regardless of your entries, right? Because smart money people are going to trade something different. You, the basic SNR, are going to trade something different. um, Gold Mafia with these trend lines and whatsoever, is going to trade something different. So it is about us knowing our entries and actually making sure that we get in the right way possible, right? So yeah, that's something that we are meant to do. I don't know if there is any new findings you guys have been able to get previously, maybe in your endeavors on seeing the market, that you can share. Some few gems in line with whatsoever kind of things you've been trying to go through, maybe your order blocks or whatsoever. I'd be very, very happy to know some of those. For the people that are watching, we have a giveaway running, and for you to be able to win into that giveaway, something easy that you have to do. Whatsoever kind of comment you put out, just do hashtag Neoma. Neoma is NEOMAAA, and you will be in. For example, we have an amazing guy here who is King WWE, and he is in the giveaway already. You see, he's watching from YouTube, and he's saying, Neoma, good morning, preacher. Good morning to you. We are happy to have you on the call. And he's already in on the giveaway. So by the time we end the call, if he's still on the call, we can run the giveaway page. And actually, we ask the system that we are using to select so that there is a bit of competition right there, right? For you guys to win some of this. So the concept of um, order blocks and fair value gaps. I know, Arafat, you have just got into this. I don't know if there is anything you can share around that, or Butera Capital, for me, just to grasp more on that on that kind of thing right there, because honestly, sometimes even when I'm drawing these fair value gaps, I'm like, am I actually entering on the right fair value gap, right? Which is something that I keep asking, is this the right fair value gap that I have to get on this trade on? So let me know, you guys, what you think. More so on the concept of order blocks and fair value gaps only. Anyone of you
Well,
that can go first will be good.
just to clarify something with the way I use order blocks. The way I use order blocks is also a bit different from most guys. I use order blocks in a sense that my order block isn't really the first entry for me. It's not really like the first entry. I still trade the same way like trend lines, breakout, and retest. So on the retest as well, of the retest of the breakout or trend line is well getting on my first entry. But after I'm gotten in on the first entry, now looking for a second entry. This is more of a high risk of trading. This is more for like small accounts, stacking, like flipping. It's something that is still in the process, in the works. I'm still like trying to develop it. So the second entry is where I use the order block, but that one comes in only after I've gotten in the first time around using my trend lines and retests. Yeah. So order blocks are more
Yeah,
like I'm just maximizing my wins. I've gotten in on less on like on such a trade and it's floating in profit. So I look for an order block to give me like a second entry. A more sharper entry, better suited for personal accounts for flipping. Yeah.
yeah. So meaning you only use an order block when you are getting a second entry that should be a little tighter for your um for your personal accounts, maybe for flipping, right?
Yeah,
In
exactly.
your entries, you use the normal trend lines, break and retest, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I don't know what Shaka has on his mind. Mr. Butera, what do you have in your mind? I guess he's off for a moment. He'll be able to tell us what he has in mind. Yeah, but the concept of order blocks, honestly, and how is it called? Fair value gaps is something that I've just got into recently. And honestly, it's been a ride, yeah. I remember there's a time in a few weeks ago, I used to take almost 7 trades a day because of the different order blocks.
because of the
Fair
different
value
order
gaps
blocks
I
I
would
would
see.
sorry, fair value gaps I would see.
So it would,
So
just
it would just
I hear some
Can
feedback.
you
I
hear
don't
me
know
now?
who
I hear
it
some
is
feedback.
from.
I don't know who it's from.
Yeah, I can hear you,
Yeah, I can hear you.
but
Yeah,
I
so
guess
uh,
if you
I
have
guess
your
you have the
YouTube playing from somewhere,
YouTube
I can
playing from
hear some
somewhere. I
feedback.
can hear some feedback. Yeah, I did. Probably
Yeah,
nobody's off.
just mute.
It's off.
Okay,
Okay.
I guess it's off
So
now.
I guess it's off now. Yeah, that's not mine.
Okay,
I think that's Gold Mafia.
it's off now. It's off now.
Off now.
You should.
All right. So when it comes to this concept of order blocks and fair value gaps, these concepts came later, way later on into my trading journey. And the challenge, the kind of challenge that I can maybe associate with these kind of things is most traders, when we have our strategies, we tend to go out and look for more, like we talked about earlier on. We always try to get better. So I just figured my entries were not it, you know
Yeah,
because in most cases I had my strategy telling me, hey, do this, we are going long today. And I used to have a specific set criteria for entries that wasn't really that refined. And I noticed a pattern. When I started listening to the charts, I noticed a pattern. I used to get taken out, and then usually trades come back and go, in my favor. And this was until I think I watched a video about smart money concepts and something like that. So when it comes to trading, I think we all have different experiences, and we've all picked our strategies and our different trading knowledge from different places. There are people who've gone through mentorship, and then there are people who have had to start, from the ground up. All this information that is out there. So I like to think I'm one of those. So I've been going around collecting. How do I get better? How do I get better? So that's how I came across the order blocks, and I backtested for a little while. But my challenge at the time was, which one do I get to use? Which one is valid? Because when you zero down the noise and go to smaller time frames, for example, when you're doing the top down analysis, there's a fair value gap everywhere. Like you said, there's another block everywhere. So I figured now what I had to do was focus on what my strategy is currently at the moment, because it seemed to be working. What wasn't working was where I was getting in. That was the only logical explanation I had. So I figured the mistake I was making at the time, I was looking for the order blocks without having to consult my strategy. Because I've seen an order block, I'm going to do this. I put my profit tool, and the next thing I know, it's not making sense. So I decided to listen to the strategy first and then go to the order blocks last when I'm looking for entries. So I come to order blocks as a concept last. Once I've figured out my direction, that's when I look for it. And usually they are not far off from where I usually used to enter. It's usually 10 pips, 20 pips. And this is basically the size, like the standard size of some of the stop losses that we see, people do. So what came into my mind at the time was to come and incorporate them later, and it seemed to be working, because now They don't come before the strategy. You have to know that your strategy is your most important weapon as a trader. We have the mindset and everything, but at the end of the day, your strategy is the most important weapon you have. That is your edge, in this market. So when I put my strategy first, that's when the order block started making sense. So I would usually ask myself, okay, so my strategy is telling me to go long. I'm seeing bulls in the market. So where would I usually enter before, I discovered this? So I'd mark out that area and look for an order block which is in conjunction with that area. So I just started refining my entries. Same strategy, nothing different. I just refined the entries, and all of a sudden things started making sense, and it kind of became like second nature. But it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect in trading. It's just a process of repeating, and all of a sudden now things started making sense, and I started noticing those patterns. Like I said, the longer you are on the charts, the more the charts speak to you. So sometimes we just have to listen. We just have to calm down and listen to what our charts are doing. So strategy first, then whatever is that comes second. That's my personal experience.
We can't hear you. I don't know. Is it only me or
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
yeah?
So I was saying that this is the reason why it is always good, to trade with amazing people, right? So we are going to have these live streams keep going on, and the reason is very easy to be accountable to each other, to help some of you guys maneuver the fears of the markets that you're having. That's why we have these live streams. Have a question pop up in your mind, just write it in the chat. I'll have myself answer it, or some of my friends who are actually on the stream, so that we are able to help you guys, maneuver this. These are things that we've gone through, looking at the market. Of course, we are not experts into this. We are also learning the market every single day. But some of the things that we share with you are things that we've been able to actually go on grasping every single time. I'm trading a different kind of strategy. Butera Capital is trading a different kind of strategy. Gold Mafia is doing a different kind of strategy. But you find out that we have almost the same entries, almost the same kind of things going on in the market. He is doing order blocks. I'm doing fair value gaps. He's doing support and resistance. He's doing maybe um, trend line breaks and retests. So all these things in conjunction put together, they make the market what it has to be made. And if all the three people are able to add their minds together, even yourself who is watching us right now, and we are actually able to talk about a few things together, you realize that the market actually becomes much, much fun and better to trade, because you are adding different kind of concepts together to see how things flow. For example, in the meantime, while we were trying to look at why this market is moving up, is it going to hit a sell? Those are the kind of things that we've been speaking about. Arafat or Gold Mafia was telling us of how he uses his order blocks, right? I don't know how to draw order blocks, but on his chart, he has something of a sort, right? Where the market just came and tapped into, and he was able to get a sell again on this kind of trade around this area. But he says, for me to get into this trade, it is a risky trade that I know I have to scalp on, right? And actually, in our private group of the three, he shared this kind of trade. He took it, and it just came in, tapped into here, and went down 40 pips. So, meaning if someone was starting into this kind of trade and he knew he's a scalper, he would have got out with, whatsoever kind of profit he would have been looking for. If, let's say, I draw a short position here, let's say you've entered here and your SL is above, let's say, the order block you drew, you realize that you're working around with 10 pips, right? So if he's looking for 1 is to 3 on this, he's already out, right? So these are things that we need to keep studying every single time, and it just takes a number of men who are looking for something uniform or something unified to see that actually the markets work together for them. So this is a trend we are in. Are we saying it is going to hit TP? No. Are we saying it's going to hit SL? We don't know. But most definitely, we know one answer, that when we are losing or when we are putting a trade in, we are already ready to lose this kind of amount we are putting on the line. So that's the same kind of mind you guys should have in, right? You shouldn't be like, now this trade hit SL. Why did it hit SL? When we are trading, we already know that we are ready to lose whatsoever that we are putting as a stake to the market. So yeah, those are things that we need to keep learning every single time, so that our trading actually works out for the best of each one of us. Okay, for the best of each one of us. So that's what we are looking at for the market today. If you guys have any questions, please make sure you are actually dropping them in the comment section. And as well, make sure that for every comment that you put out, you are writing a word hashtag Nioma with it, or every kind of comment you're pushing out, a word hashtag Nioma with it, so that you're able to enter into the giveaway. So the current giveaway we have, if I'm to look at it here, we have about 3 entries on it, which shouldn't be a thing, right? So you guys should be able to jump onto this giveaway so that most of you can go home with an account. That's why today we came up with 2 accounts of 5K to give out on the stream, right? So let me know what questions you have in mind as we keep exploring the market with these wonderful people that I have on the stream today. In case you guys have anything as well you feel like in your mind you'd want to share, that is, this is a free place, right? This is a free place. You should be able to just open your mic and share with the people that are watching us. We have about 35 people on X and 2 people on Kick, then 2 people on Twitch. Sorry, one on two on YouTube. For Kick, I'm not sure as yet. Kick, we have 2, one on Twitch, 35 and X, then one on YouTube. Facebook, we don't have anyone watching currently. But yeah, it's a good place to be in, right? So just share your questions and we shall be able to answer them. But other than that, this is what we are seeing on the market currently. And at least 2 of us are into this trade. So yeah, that's what we are looking for. I had a few people comment about my microphone. Today it is really shitty because I'm using these particular headsets for my microphone. So you shouldn't mind that. And it's because I guess I'm out of my house currently. So when I get back in, the live streams will be a little much better. The live streams will be a little much better. So again, guys, we have something going on. Yeah, we have something going on. I have a tweet I pushed out, and maybe just to share it on the stream, this is the tweet that I pushed out, and I was saying that I'm going to be partnering with a broker or a prop firm under my mentorship, program to fund about 20 people and trade with them live on these kind of markets like we are doing right now. until they make their first 5,000, right? So this is something that I've been on, and we have about 85 people who showed interest. So, um, and I have amazing partners that are, trying their level best to talk to me to come on board. So if you are interested, right? If you're interested into joining that kind of thing, please make sure that you are doing your level best to comment, to actually push for it. I see a number of partners, wanting to get into this, and honestly, I believe it's going to be a very, very, very big game changer, right? 20 people selected, and they are going to be live trading with me and maybe Alan and Shaka on these calls. So Alan and Gold Mafia on these calls, and we see how to make people actually make their first 5,000. It's actually very funny that um,
Yes, yeah, sure.
it's very funny that this is a dream that can come true for some people, and 5,000 is not even their first million. It looks like if you're in Uganda, that's like your first 18 million or 19 million, right? Maybe in Nigeria, that's around what? Your first 10 million or something? I'm not very sure. But you can imagine how crazy that is, right? It is actually absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Gold Mafia, you have at least gotten payouts. What do you think of people who have never taken even a payout, trading with them and they're making their first 5,000? Yeah,
Well,
it will be really, really game
everything is
changing.
possible. Yeah, everything
Yeah,
is possible in this trading. I think the biggest challenge I think I've faced with most traders who are like still struggling is that they have some knowledge about a market, right? But then they think, I don't know, it could be even something they think they know it all. Someone thinks they know everything. They may not really like actually believe it. They actually think they know it, but they always have that mindset of I know what the market is going to do. I know how to trade, and what maybe my capital is what is leading me back. But then when you try to
yeah,
actually spend more time with them and then ask them deeper questions about their technicals, it even has nothing much to do with psychology. You try to ask them real questions about their technicals and about their trading plan, like how they manage, so if they're on a challenge account, how they plan their trades and all that. So as make sure they don't like really get caught off by drawdown and stuff. Most of them don't really have an idea. They're just really
yeah,
weighing it and hoping that it actually works.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something that we wanted working for most of you. Myself, I've gone ahead of time to always, provide some free accounts to most of you guys. And this is something that we feel it should be like a thing, right? We feel like it should be a thing, to see that you guys are winning. So, how I wish that when these opportunities come and rise up, you guys are able to take them on, right? We have a few giveaways we've done in the previous giveaway with Neoma, giveaway with Bull Rush, giveaway with Blue Guardian, giveaway with Prop Farm Match, giveaway with a number of companies that have come through, and we have actually shared all those giveaways on the account here of my ex account, and we've been able to help those people out. It's actually still very buffering in my head to see someone come in and they're like, I took just one trade and the account was blown. A 10K account gone in a matter of seconds. That is crazy. So we want to teach most of you how we do it, and how consistent it can be. Arafat has had, I think, an account for almost a year or a year and a half. Tena Capital always like it's always scared. He's always talking about it like this guy has had an account for almost 2 years. That's crazy. Arafat, you should actually tell us how you are able to keep that account for all that long. It's just crazy to think about it,
Two
honestly.
words: not getting greedy on the payouts and the patience, especially patience, because Especially why I say patience, this is in terms of when you're in losing streaks and drawdown.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's not that is the hardest part I think for most traders, because you'll make a payout two, three, four, but then one time you'll be in serious drawdown and you'll be in drawdown for a month or two, even three. So now that is where most traders, that is where now they test actually, you test it mentally, because now you actually
yeah,
have to dig deeper to be able to like hold on onto the account, however many trades you take, and you're still hitting stop loss and you're still like finding yourself, you're just going deeper into drawdown, just realizing like you have to take it slower because you realize at the end of the day, even if you what is the use of you having an account today and blowing it after maybe because you spent 2 months on it, yet you could have maybe spent 2 more months on it and recover it and have it for the next 5 or 6 months, and you're making a consistent payout from it every other month. Yeah.
I hear you. So, guys, you should make sure that your accounts are protected at all costs. Hello, are you guys in the comment section able to hear me? Let me know. Let me know. Arafat, if you can hear me, let me know because I can't.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. In the comment section, I've seen this guy called Alovo. He's asking gold to just dump. Then I think when you are speaking of how you're keeping your account, and he's saying, it's really, really hard to forego the greediness, but yeah, it's something that should work out eventually. I see a few comments flying here and there. Um, some guy here was saying how he blew the account that I gave him. But yeah, these are things that can happen. But yeah, somehow, somewhere, the more you learn to manage your risk, things will, change. Things will change. Alan, good to have you back.
To be back. I had a problem here, but it's solved now.
I don't know if we were able to have you had on the call on the live stream. Let me just check that out because every time you get out, that means that there is a change that happens. As you can see on the screen, there's literally a bit showing that you're offline. Okay, when you speak, I can't hear you on the normal live stream. Let me try and see how to uh, get you back on the stream itself. Okay, I guess now you are connected. Can you
How
say
about now?
something?
Is it good now?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, it's very
All
good.
right. All right.
You know, again, I'm learning the platform, so when someone goes off, I guess I just need to go and replace them when they come back with a new guest link they have entered on. So it's something that I've just figured out right now how to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm also still getting a hang of this software, but it's all good now. It's all good.
Yeah,
Let me hope I didn't miss any wisdom from the mafia. You know, when he speaks, I like to be in in
I asked him your
attendance.
favorite question that you keep
What's
asking
that?
every single time. How he was able to manage having two accounts for a full year without blowing them.
I think he's had one for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one in
So,
particular.
so I was asking him that. Oh, guys, for the people that are commenting Neoma, Neoma is triple A, Neomaa. That's Neoma. If you know you've entered into the giveaway and you're using single A, you're not going to be selected. Please. To join into the giveaway at the end of the session. Interesting. Yeah. Um. All right. I can see now. It looks good. For some people, I've started, writing that back again. I'm intending to do a forex bootcamp. Uh, I should make it actually a live one, maybe both remote and live. We might have to get a bit of maybe like a broker or a prop firm to sponsor that so that we can run something huge for you guys to look to look back at someday and be like, yo, actually we had an amazing thing going on. So if some of you guys watching us are able to love that, that's something that I can go ahead and see how best to bring on board for all of you. I sometimes forget that I have Instagram running, so people on Instagram, sorry, I'm just checking out what is happening there right now.
God's looking good.
Yeah, I can see it's giving us some good vibes currently. Though it looks like it's creating a bit of a consolidation. We had something happen here until it broke out, but then now it looks like we have some other thing happening into this zone. I don't know if you guys can see that. So one of the things that I'm looking at is, can we actually get the market break this zone here and maybe retest it and keep moving again down? Yeah, this is something that I'm looking at.
Yeah, but just like the initial push down from your entries is pretty strong. So I don't really see anything going any different. Plus,
Yeah,
if the strategy calls for it, we have to go for it. So it's looking good regardless.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if Alan, you have a grasp on how fair value gaps are drawn, but I keep wondering and wanting to actually master how fair value gaps are drawn. For example, if you look at this one, the way I drew it was because of these three bearish candles, right? There's this one that came through, and this, so I put it in between here. To your eye, or the way you draw fair value gaps, if you've been drawing them before, is this a kind of fair value gap that you would have taken?
Like we did in the previous call, we had in the private group. I don't really focus on the fair value gaps that much. I just went and picked up the order block concept because that was what worked for me. So really, I'd probably have to see something different on the other end. But I don't think that is a. Let me see. No, I can't see anything, Mr. Gold, Mr. Gold Preacher.
Okay. So this is, while I was learning the concept of fair value
Yeah.
gaps,
Mm-hmm.
it it said that it has to be three bearish candles that come and create a gap between
Oh,
themselves. So
yeah.
that's how I keep drawing them. You see that one right there. There's this one right here. This
Mm-hmm.
is how I drew it. Actually, this is where I took my entry from on this fair value gap.
Can I
Then we
can I have the previous tool before your current position is kind of blocking the view of where you based your today's entry from. So if you could just cut that down a little bit to the left.
um something like
Yeah,
this.
something like that.
Let me just keep it here like this. This is a trade I missed, so I always mark them as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't up the time it happened, so I missed this trade, but it was also a very good trade that literally went not in any drawdown, and it came hit TP 1:3.
So I'm guessing you had incorporated the whole fair value gap thing that you're currently testing out on that one as well.
Yes, yes.
So how is that going? Like generally, ever since you decided to take on
Honestly,
that
like
baby and add it to your strategy.
honestly, things have been moving on well. I've had a good success of trades actually happen. I've I've um I've not seen many SLs happen as yet,
Yeah,
which is the dream of every
that's
trader,
that's that's always the dream, because the better the entry you have, I believe the better you can even do whatever it is you're going to do throughout the day, because you don't have to deal with the ups and downs of being in drawdown, several times. Because I believe, based off how good you say it has been going, I don't know if we have the same kind of realization after you do all that kind of backtesting. But like, personally, when I did that, I realized that if a trade really went into the back and forth of drawdown between entry and profit, and before SL or TP, usually that meant I was wrong.
yeah,
But every time I did that and incorporated the order block, strategy, the order block concept to my strategy, it's it was instant. The entry was instant and flawless. So every
yeah,
time I had a few hiccups here and there, I always figured that was wrong. Something was wrong, because based off how it was working, yeah, something is always off if it does that. But if it goes and it's triggered in, and initially your strategy is right, or you happen to be right, at the precise moment, then yeah, there's not so much that you have to worry about once it's been executed.
yeah. I hear you.
Peace of mind, brother. Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Wow, interesting, interesting. So then we just have to wait for this trade to play out, guys. For some of you who are on it, good. For some of you who are not on it, still good for you. It's actually amazing, to see a lot of things happening.
I think while we wait for the trade to play out, I would like to hear more about how uh, Mr. Gold is able to, have those. I heard him talk about, greed and things like that. But all the things he mentioned is human nature. So I know there's people in the comments down here, that are tagging hashtag Neoma. So he needs to come and talk about it more, because as I also personally benefit from that. I think even the people who are going to get those accounts today, who are going to be blessed to get those accounts today, would really, really, really benefit from that. So I want to hear him talk more about it.
There you go, Mr. Murphy.
Drop the nuggets, brother. Details. We want all
Nuggets.
the details.
Drop, drop the nugget. You know he's a mafia, so maybe he has people surrounding him, giving him some tea.
I think he's the real definition of insider trading.
He has a lot of people right now surrounding him, giving him like some tea and telling him, boss, here is your tea and stuff. This is a cold weather. Interesting. Generally, trading shouldn't be hard. I just wonder how we can make it actually very easy for many, many people.
The word is one: self mastery. And I think I've
Self
seen it.
mastery.
I've seen it everywhere on Twitter now. Everyone is talking self mastery. And I think you can learn the charts. That's not the hard part, really, because if you're really passionate about what you're doing, I naturally think people give everything. They give everything to things they are passionate about. So once you get passionate about trading and decide to go into the technicals and the fundamentals of understanding how each and everything works, once that step is done, I believe that's where the real work is. Because self mastery, how are you going to convince yourself that you are wrong, about a certain thing, or how are you going to have to adjust your personality? Because these are things that are going to happen. You're going to have to change your ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's where
So
most of
there's
the challenges
something
come in.
something I've just done here. Um, I've tried to move on the left, to see what is there in this. Okay, I wasn't particularly looking for this zone, but I was looking for any fair value gaps that I can see below here. And I got this fair value gap here. And bringing it in, I now see why the price is refusing to break out of this zone for now. It is inside a fair value gap that happened previously. And of course, we are speaking of that one candle. Yeah. So this is how huge that one candle was. So we are seeing a number of, these other trades failing to move out of it until it's broken, probably. And I'm using the 30 minutes, by the way, to look for some of these. So that's how big that 30 minutes was. So you were still telling us about self mastery.
Yeah, personally, I think that is the most challenging part about trading because it brings out who you really are. You know, if you're emotional, if you're impulsive, if you're someone who likes to revenge in real life, all these things are going to follow you to your charts. And that's why I mentioned we have to always listen to our charts. But, once you get to your phone and, start hitting those buttons on your MT5, Trade Local, whatever platform it is that you use, now that's where the real work comes in. And this is the most important thing, in my opinion. So when we talk about Arafat and Gold Mafia being able to keep those accounts that long, I always like to give credit where it's due, because when I said this is so hard, like I actually mean it, because those who have been in that position before can tell what it really means, and how hard it is. Or when you lose an account, how do you really get back and all that. But I've seen him do it, so that's why I don't want him to tiptoe around the topic. He has to come and drop everything here, because I mean, if people are getting the Neoma accounts today, they might as well go when they know how to keep those accounts, for the longest period of time, and it's the only way to do it, right? The
Exactly,
right way.
exactly. So, Mr. Mafia, you've had the man Butera package of saying we can't dilly dally on this one. People need to actually know
Come
how
and take your
connected
flowers,
those
brother.
accounts. Is he still on the call, though he might have gone a little bit
Well,
like the
Yes.
mafias do to take some
Come and collect your
afternoon.
flowers.
well, the thing is, I don't know. Like I think I've mentioned this before. Keeping accounts for long, even me myself, I really don't know like how I've done it. I think I've just like been patient with the way I trade, like with my trades, because there are periods whereby I think, for you guys who follow me on X, you should have known gold. For the last, I think 2 months, I really had a really like serious losing streak on gold. Almost for 2 months straight, every trade I took on gold hit stop loss, and I couldn't really figure it out how. I reached a point whereby even though I lost actually a 25 gear account, I had $40 left on the account, on a funded account. That is less than even half a percent on an account. But I decided to like, I paid for trading view, and then I had to add other pairs, which I mentioned. I added a GU plus GG on my watch list, and I traded those, and I moved back to break even and secured a payout last week. So it all comes back to patience. But then imagine I spent almost 2 months in drawdown, but then after adding GG and GU, I was out of drawdown in I think in 2 weeks. Yeah, but it is not really the first time it has happened. Actually, even the other FX5 accounts that I did lose. One of those accounts that I actually, the time I lost it, I think I was around almost 7-8% in profit. But that account had also gone through the same drawdown. Like drawdown was really serious. I'd lost a lot of money on that account. I'm not sure how much it was, but I think I had probably less than 1% as well on that account. But I was able to come out of drawdown to break even to over 7% profit. But it took me a while. It's not something that I did in a week or two. It took me over a month, or actually 2 months to be specific, to come out of drawdown. And I think Preacher knows this. Like my first challenge account, I think I probably traded it for 2 to 3 months before I even passed it. So imagine at some point in your trading, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to realize like you shouldn't really focus so much on getting funded, on getting the payouts, on passing the challenge. You should focus on getting so good at it, like so good at execution, right? We can. A lot of guys talk about the strategies and how much their strategies can make a month. Let's say they talk about someone tells you 50% win rate with a 1 to 3 hours, so I'm able to make average like 4% a month. But the reality is a lot different on the market. So you actually have to be patient with yourself to actually be able to translate that data from the back testing into the actual market, which takes a lot of time, a lot of patience. It's not that easy. I've talked to a few traders. There's some traders I've talked to on X, and these are guys who have been in the industry for 9 years. These are guys who are making close to 100K, 200K a month. These are guys who have accounts of $1 million, personal accounts, not from personal accounts. But they'll tell you the same thing. Patience. It takes a lot of patience to get that level. Yeah, there are people who are lucky enough, and there are people, I don't know if it's luck or they're skilled enough, but there are a few guys who will probably get funded today, and this is their first account, and they're able to make maybe 10 or 20% on that account. But for most of us and the others, and for you, if you want to like really scale up easily, don't look at a person making 10%. You do your 1, 2% and withdraw it and move go and eat your small money. Come back again next month. Do that. You do that for 6 months. You reach a point and you're now comfortable. You're confident now. You've grown more guts. Yeah, you have the skills. Better your risk. You can afford to risk more. You can get more content. Right now, you can now up your risk from now. You no longer need now that 1, 2% every other month. You can now go and maybe aim for 5, 10%, whatever you want. But all in all, is that baby steps. Baby steps. One step at a time. Maybe for me, I was, I think, the advantage I probably had was that I didn't have as much bills as maybe some guys. I know some guys might be having families, wives, and kids they have to take care of, so maybe the pressure is a lot more. But for me, I was privileged to be at a place whereby, yeah, I needed money, but not as much as maybe those guys. So I wasn't so much like on that pressure. I knew even if things don't work out, I always have a backup somewhere. So that's it. Just patience. Be patient with yourself and focus on execution. Don't care much about like everything. Just focus on execution. Get so good at your entries. I always say is that I always say this that if you want to know if you as your entries are getting better and you've mastered your strategies that if I ask you how do you trade and then you start talking a lot of English words, a lot of heavy English, and for you having to explain for me your entries, having to explain your entries, you probably explain your entries in maybe 10 sentences. That means you're
Hey
not really
brother,
good
what
enough.
exactly have we done to you for us who studied English?
That's what I'm trying to figure out as well.
What
You
are
don't
these
have to come.
guys?
You
We
don't
are
have to come after
innocent.
us. You know,
We are innocent, bro.
because yeah, but yeah, I get it. But
Well,
it's
the
for
thing
me.
is, yeah.
uh, I'm more
Well,
interested in how you like. Yeah, it's good to have the patience, the entries, like in a situation where you have all that. You get it. You can do the analysis and do all that. But we both know once between execution, actually, once you've executed, like that mental clarity. How do you suppress your demons? How do you keep them quiet? I think you get what I'm trying to mean.
all
Patience
right.
with yourself and all that is a little bit different, but I get it. So how do you
Alan,
navigate
what
all
did
that?
demons also do to you?
Okay.
Like every time in your conversations, there are demons, eh? Trading
Okay.
I know
demons.
traders know what I mean. Every trader knows what I mean when I talk about
Okay.
that, because like I said, your
Mm.
personality, your private life, everything that is going on in your life. And I think we've all seen that this is very possible. It's going to follow you to your charts. Now, you will analyze, and that is one thing. After execution, that is a whole different conversation. And I think that's where traders are either made, or that's where things, go to scatter. So that's where I think more of my interest is on this topic.
Okay. I think
But I
to
think the people in
summarize,
the comments can ask the questions if they have their specific uh,
all right.
things that need touched upon in that area.
Okay, Shaka. I think one word to answer that would be trust. Having trust in yourself in the system, and this trust doesn't just come from thin air. Remember, Shaka, that whole thing which I have always introduced you to the whole thing of doing the weekly review. That whole thing. That the more you keep on doing the weekly reviews and then you actually back testing and you may remember that software we used to have like BMTJ, the software we used to use, and then it had like the data. I was able to back test for 12 months and I was able to see that every other month I'm averaging between, I think it was 8% every month. That was the average. On a bad month, I usually make like maybe 4%, but it all comes from trust, and trust comes from data. So, data, where does the data came from? Data comes from your reviewing your trades every other week. Okay, seeing, okay, this trade should have hit TP, this should have hit SL, but if these trades hit TP, this one's hit SL, how much should I have made? Maybe I should have made this. Is that what I've made on the market? No. Why haven't I made that? Then you'll actually see. So the more you do that, you get confident in your in how good you are as a trader and actually like the win rate. especially how to do with the win rate and RR. So you know, at the end of the day, you know, however much I take even 20, 30 losses in a row, I'm still going to be profitable. So in that short run, you might be, those demons might come in and stuff. But then every time you remind yourself, like, you know what, you open your MTJ and MTJ says, oh, you backtested maybe 100 or 200 trades and you're averaging maybe 5% a month. So you'll keep on reminding yourself, yeah, to maybe today you will slack up and maybe make a mistake. But in 1, 2, 3 days or even a week later on, you remind yourself that, you know what, I backtested and these were the data. So I have that. Plus the fact me personally that I was able to get a multiple, like a couple of payouts. Actually today I was talking to Shaka in the morning. I don't know if you saw that message, but I sent a message and I counted my payout since this year started. Just to like, cause I was just trying to do more of the finance thing, but I saw that I've had a total of 9 payouts since the year started, and we are in August. So all that just gives me confidence. And in looking at my data, reviewing my trades end of every week, this is something I think most traders really, especially we know we talk about backtesting, but in most traders really underestimate reviewing the trades. Like the week has ended, yeah. Let's say you took 5 trades. So how many trades would have hit? Don't look at the trades that actually hit. Look at the trades. How many trades would have hit TP? How many trades would have hit SL? Okay, let's say you had maybe 4 trades hitting TP, 3 SLs. Those 4 trades, let's say if you're doing a 1 to 3, you're like me, a stop loss or TP guy. 1 to 3 times 4, that is 12. Removing minus the 6 losses, so it should be up around a 6R. That is ideally should be up 6R in theory, but in practically you're not up 6R. Maybe you draw down. You even took a few losses on that week. So what happened? Why? How comes your strategy is saying you should be up 6R, but in here you've in the actual market? It's this. In your actual dive, you will be maybe okay. You will look around and you'll be like, you know what? Maybe I got into trades and then I kept on like freaking out, chickening out, and closing them too early, and maybe cutting my wins and letting my stop losses, actually my losses hit SL, and then the wins cutting them too early. So the more you keep on doing that, it's not something that you do in a month or two. Maybe okay if you're lucky enough, if you're that good enough, but well, the point is, you know, it's not something you do in a day or two, but this is something you are going to have to do for like 2 to 3 months. But I promise you, once you do that, you will get so good at it with time. Even if you're not making money from the market, right? But you'll get that confidence, that trust in your system. That is why I think Shaka over the weekends, I even I always remind them like, hey, have you done your weekly review? Because the more you do that, it puts you on edge. You'll be like, you know what, I should have made this. So my entries are good, but how comes I'm not making the money? Maybe it's me how I'm letting the fear. Maybe I'm missing entries. I'm not focusing. Maybe I'm doing analysis, but then I'm not really actually, for guys who use market orders, they're not really like they on the market to actually take the entries. So I'm actually missing entries. So it is something you have to keep on doing every other week and having to go back to basics. You're never too experienced to actually go back to basics and learn everything. That is why for me I've paid for TradingView and I'm always making sure I pay for it. However much I every maybe 2 3 days I'll always go back to TradingView and keep on back testing. However much I've paid out. Back testing doesn't really stop. Yeah, even if I take 2 3 losses, now like this week, Monday and Tuesday, I had 2 losses actually. I had I think 3 losses, a total of 3 losses, all losses, no win. So last night I spent some part of last night backtesting, and today I managed to get a good entry. But it always shows you that you're never too big as a trader to go back to the basics. The things you think when you think you've outgrown something, that is when you learn like this is what you think you've outgrown isn't. There's actually a lot more in it than you thought you knew. So being humble and then just keep on doing what you're supposed to do. Backtesting, reviewing, especially reviewing your trades. That is very, very important. Review your trades in details. Yeah. I guess that's all.
Thank you so much for that. That was a great insight right there. As for me who is watching my trade, I see my SL trying to fall.
Well, me, I'm already out on that other block entry. I'm out at break even.
Okay. And how about the first trade? You didn't take it this one?
Well, the first trade I didn't take it. I mentioned to you that I've been losing on gold a lot. So this week I decided to just like mark up the charts on gold, but not really actually take the trades. The next week is when I'll actually like take the trades. So I just marked it. I'm just watching it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. But then for me to actually see that, I'll need to have a look at the high time frames. Like on the 1 hour, 2 and 4 hour, see how the candles are playing.
Yeah. Like Alan usually says that when such things happen, there's some liquidity somewhere. But yeah, since I haven't figured out a lot, all I could see is get in my trade, and I'll just leave this to play out as I wait. So I'll not just move out of my trade for now. I'll just wait until it takes me out on SL or TP. Oh my goodness. I
How are the
wonder
comments
why
going?
it's so cold. We just have a few people on the call. So it's a few people that entered into the Neoma giveaway. Probably the more we do the streams, the more people keep on. Yeah, good to see Alovo here. By the way, for the accounts that we give out on the giveaways, we give them to those people that are on the stream, not people who were there and apparently they are not. Alovo is saying gold dump, please. The gold is not going to dump, it will do what it wants.
Caesar does what Caesar wants.
Yeah. If really gold wants to dump, it will dump. But yeah, I like the fact that every time it gets into my fair value gap, it does this. Maybe I'll just look at a higher time frame to see what is really happening. From my intuition on this particular one, probably with Alan's concept of liquidity, maybe it's somewhere around this zone.
No.
Somewhere
No,
around that
no.
zone. You see this candle here on the 30 minutes time frame?
I can see
Probably
that.
the market is to come back, this should be like the place of interest for it.
But it looks like that
And with
place was
what?
already that was already that place was already tested. That place was already tested. So it can't be that.
Okay. So can we say this place was also tested already with this move up?
Yeah. All that is in the past because I think where you missed that move, I think that was the Asian session.
Yeah, I had to enter in this area here.
Yeah, you should be good. You should be good unless your strategy is wrong, but you should be good.
Okay. No, but I like the fact that every time it comes in here,
There's
it's
some,
actually giving me
there's a reaction always.
reaction. Yeah. I moved a little bit the missed trade, so can't figure out where I entered it from. So let me just mark out something here again. Yeah, this should have been the entry. The stop loss was above here. Should have been around 80 pips. I love the fact that we have a bit of reaction there. So the Asia session SL would have been really very big. Any questions, guys? Just make sure that you drop them. Someone is asking, do we have any news? Yes, but
Yeah, at 4:30.
I see PPI. It's actually at 3:30, if I'm not mistaken. It is 3:30. We have PPI. Yep.
You can see gold is scared of the gold mafia SL.
Uh-huh. My guy. Indeed scared. I'm still struggling to find off streaming to TikTok with RTMP. So maybe if I can figure that out, we shall be on TikTok as well. Guys, make sure your SLs and TPs are set. Like you can see here on my other screen in my trade lock, I have my entry, my SL, my TP. See, everything is set. Don't be fooled that you put the TP later or the SL later. Before you know it, Trump will say something and news will mean nothing. So yeah, let me just stand up a little bit. I'll stay on the call. I'm just standing up to get some air. It's crazy, you know. Let me hope you guys are okay. Whether gold is golding or not, we should be fine, guys. Maybe I'll just take this moment to tell you guys about some of my partners. I have Jix Investments, which is a software development company and digital marketing company. So if you have anything in that line, please just reach out to them. They'll be able to give you a good service. We have FX Pro, which is my recommended broker, and Xness. So still, if you want some of the brokers that we use on these streams, I use FX Pro, I use Xness, and as well, my favorite platform at this time, prop firm, is Neoma, and they are giving us out actually 2 accounts to some of you guys, right? So if you want to join in on this particular account giveaway, just type in the comment section hashtag Neoma. Neoma is NEOMAAA. So that's triple A at the end, and you will be able to join into this giveaway. And I believe you will enjoy your account with Neoma. They're actually doing an absolute amazing job for us currently, and I believe that you guys should be able to enjoy it. So yeah, those are some of our partners. If you're there and you would want to sponsor this particular platform as well and you're listening, please feel free to do so. Yeah, so big shout outs to Neoma and the other different platforms. So, Mr. Butera, I don't know if you're still here, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
tell me about, how currency pairs are doing these days because,
Like I said, I mean, the currency pairs are not as active and volatile as gold, but they're doing well. But like I said, the August effect for me is serious. So the movement hasn't really been the best. Like there's been moves, but it's been all over the place. I don't know
yeah,
about gold, but yeah, it's been all over the place.
I hear you. Gold, I don't know. Um, Honestly, the thing is, it looks like I've married gold.
You might as well get a
Well,
last. You have the last name already, so
yeah. So, but yeah, let's see. But I'm looking at venturing into those other platforms.
mm. I mean,
But one thing,
personally, I feel
mm,
it's good to have multiple options at your disposal because I don't know. I find the concept of having just one pair a little bit it's terrifying. I don't know how to feel about it.
mm,
Yeah, so I mean it's personal preference, but yeah, I don't understand it. But I mean it works for you, so
yeah, the only thing it does for me is keeping my mind shaped and also not, moving around. There's a tendency of people moving around, so it just keeps me like in that place where I'm not looking for pairs to trade. I know
yeah.
gold has got me.
But I believe even with currencies, because there's a lot of these currencies, there's so many of them. So maybe focusing on the major ones, maybe GU, USD, JPY, just a few, maybe two different, currency pairs for just to have options. I like to have options at my disposal because I feel it's a more I don't know, it's more diverse and I feel it's just what works for me anyway. Plus the
Yeah,
concept is the same, the strategy, it doesn't have to be different. I don't see any difference, but maybe the difference could be the movement of gold is a little bit more, different. Like I
volatile.
told you on one of our on one of our private calls, our levels of blood sugar when we are trading can't really be the same. But you
Yeah,
get what I mean. So I find them a little bit more steady.
yeah,
Yeah, I find them a little bit more steady. Oh god, news, yeah. 3:30.
it has come.
Yeah, I think you've hit TP. So it's been a good one.
Really
Yeah, bro.
nice,
Come
nice.
on.
Excitement all over the air. Let me see if I've
Yeah.
hit TP. Wow, it
W
has
for the
actually it has hit
yeah.
TP.
So I think even the people in the comments, I don't know. I can't see the comments on my end, but maybe they can drop some emojis in the comments to let you know that.
Please, please, please do so. Just throw some emojis around, guys. Alobo is saying dump more.
That one doesn't have a
Nice,
TP.
nice, nice, nice. I guess it's only Alobo we've been having on the call today. Yeah. Wow, it's been a good experience, honestly, I
Yeah,
would say.
it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I mean, the entry itself, regardless of the retracement that we had earlier on, like when you look at it from
Yeah.
that time frame, that kind of retracement doesn't really cause any change in emotion or whatever idea that you have at the moment.
any trade I've taken for the day, and that is a 1:3 right there. So thank you for joining in. It's been an amazing time. Yeah, maybe I don't know. What should we do with here? Actually, I have another trading session happening at 4. So I'm not sure if I should cut the stream or keep on
I
here
think
talking with.
I think we can resume. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but I was gonna go offline briefly for a bit around 4, but just for a short while. So I think if you keep it running, I'll maybe join back in when I'm back. But that was an amazing one, no?
Yeah, it has actually been an amazing one. Proud of myself with the new developments
Yeah,
I've done in my
I'm
strategy.
yeah, man. You should see
Yeah.
the smile on my face right now.
Thank you, bro. So
All right.
probably what I'm going to do is um, I'll just give out maybe one account. Honestly, you know how we do it here. We want all of you guys to win, so big up to every one of you guys. See you soon in the next stream that we're having, and bye bye for this one.